Hey guys, it's Jessie Haggerty, and today we are doing a slow cardio workout. So there's not going to be any jumping, no high knees, no pounding the floor. We're going to work slow, but get the heart rate pumping. And just because it's slow doesn't mean it's easy, so remember to modify as needed. I'm going to be offering plenty of modifications as we go through the workout. And as always, when you're done, please leave a comment below and let me know if you liked it. And then head on over to jessiehaggerty.com and sign up for email updates so you never miss a workout.
All right, we're gonna start in a forearm plank. So coming down to the forearms and then lifting those hips up off the ground, coming onto the balls of the feet. Nice long line between the top of the head and the heels, drawing those belly muscles up and in and pressing the ground away from you. I do have a more specific tutorial on this exercise. I'll link to it in the comments below. And you can always come down to your knees here as a modification. We're gonna make this a little bit more dynamic. So you're gonna bring that right arm up, then left arm down, then left arm. Make sure to switch sides, left, right. Now we go right, left, right, left. And again, if this is too difficult, come down onto the knees as a modification, keeping that spine nice and long and really drawing those abdominals up and in towards the spine here. Whatever you do, don't forget to breathe. People always hold their breath during this exercise. We're going into a slow mountain climber. So you're going to bring one knee in towards the chest, exhale, place it back, and left knee. Again, too difficult, just hold your plank. It's hard enough. We're going to start twisting the knees. So you're going to bring one knee towards that opposite elbow, crossing over the body. Always exhaling as you twist. And again, if this is too fast, slow it down. Take it at your own pace. This is slow cardio. Now we're going to take one knee towards the same elbow. So you're opening up that hip a tiny bit. We're getting a nice stretch in that hip and working those oblique muscles. Always exhaling as you pull the leg in, pressing the ground away from you and drawing those abdominals up and in towards the spine. From here, you're going to come into a side plank. You can always bring both knees down onto the ground in this position as well. And again, I do have another tutorial for this, so I can include that link in the comment section below. You're adding a twist with those arms. So you're pulling that top arm down and then opening it back up. Always making sure the hips stay stacked here. And you're rotating through the trunk, through that rib cage to engage those obliques a little bit more, keeping those hips lifting high, and then rotate around to the other side. Again, if this is too advanced, maybe just hold the side plank. That might be enough work for you now, or hold the side plank with the knees down or the feet staggered. Sometimes helps with balance as well. As you can see here, my shoulders are stacked. So my shoulder is right over my wrist on my left hand, my bottom hand, and that top arm rotates over and around. Come back to your center plank on the hands, and then twist into a side plank one more time and come sit down on the hip. Here you're going to bring that top leg straight and bend that bottom leg, still stacking the hips here. You're going to lift up through the hips and then lift that leg up. This one is a little bit more complicated. Again, I have another simple tutorial that walks you through it. I'll post all of the links below. You do want to make sure your shoulder is stacked over the wrist. You're lifting through the hip and oblique muscles, and then lifting that leg for a little extra squeeze in those glutes. Take your time with this one. It's not an easy exercise. So if you have to go slower to get the form right, I'd rather you do just a few with the right form than try and do all 10 or 12. Again, stacking that shoulder over the wrist, stacking those hips, and then barely tapping the ground to lift back up. Tap and press to lift. Now look how my spine curves. I really stretch into that bottom side and then lift to straighten. You're using your whole body here. You can see my shoulders are working, my abs are working, and my glutes, both hips, are working hard here to make this exercise happen. This is why this is slow cardio. You're using every single muscle. Your heart has to pump to get blood to those muscles. Coming back into your plank position here. Breathe. And then you're going to send those hips up towards the ceiling into your downward dog. Walk your hands back towards the feet and slowly roll up. We'll give your arms a little bit of a break as we start to work the legs here. You're going to separate your feet nice and wide. Come down into a squat position. Chest is lifted and you're sitting down into the heels. As you hold here, you're going to get lower and lower. Try and get 1 inch or even 1 centimeter deeper. It's a very tiny, small range of motion squat. But again, those quads and hamstrings that you're using are huge muscle groups. And the more they work, the more your heart has to work to get blood to those muscles, increasing your heart rate, getting cardio, but also building strength in the legs. So this is like a double whammy workout. Breathe here. Keep that chest high, those shoulders relaxed. And now we're going to add little baby hops. These are totally optional. You can stay in that squat position. And you can see here my legs are barely straightening. I'm coming off the ground maybe an inch, if less. If you want even less impact, you can just rock up onto the balls of the feet and then sit back down into a squat. Always making sure those knees are over the ankles. Chest up, tailbone back. And again, most importantly, you are breathing. From here, we're going into a reverse lunge. So you're sending that right leg back and press up to lift. From here, you want to make sure you're pressing down in that left heel, that standing leg. Watch closely. Both of my knees are bending at a 90-degree angle. My shoulders are over my hips. If you need help balancing, it looks like I do, you can hold onto a chair or a stool or even your countertop to help you with this. We're going to switch legs, press up, and you want to use that standing leg to drive that back leg lifting. You come down, bend, and then press down in that right heel to lift that back leg. Exhaling as you press up. Again, take this as slow as you need to. Really trying to get 1 inch taller in the torso. Create length through the spine to help with your balance and keep the core engaged here. Bring those feet together. Take a nice deep breath. Place the hands back on the ground. Come into your plank position again. Shoulders over those wrists. You're going to start tiptoeing the feet in towards the wrist and then tiptoeing them back out into a full plank position. Watch closely. Your shoulders have to stay over your wrists. A lot of times it's tempting to come into this downward dog position, but this is almost as if you're going to walk up into a handstand. Don't worry, we're not going to do handstands today. Tiptoe and breathe here, pulling those core muscles in nice and tight, pressing those shoulders. Try and keep that neck relaxed. It's really easy to create a lot of extra tension in the neck and shoulders here. So try and keep those shoulders pulling down as you press the ground away from you. Come onto those knees and then separate the hands a little bit wider. Bring the heels towards the butt and the hips down. You're going to lower down into a slow push-up here. We're going super slow. Down 1, 2, 3, and then press up. Inhale as you go down, 2, 3, press. Down, 2, 3, press. So all a push-up is a plank where you bend your elbows. So you want to be really careful here to keep those shoulders away from the ears and bring the butt with you. It's really easy to kind of stick it out and leave it behind, but I would say you want to bring it to the party. Let it go down, 2, 3, and then press, exhale to lift. Down, 2, 3, and press. Your arms should be super, super tired by now, and your heart rate should be up. You can't see it, but I am dripping sweat all over this yoga mat. Great job. You're going to come up into all fours. We're going to do one of my favorite exercises here. Tuck those toes under and then lift the knees just a couple of inches off the mat. Twist and bring that back leg through. So you might need to slow this down to watch it really carefully. Back leg comes through, opposite arm comes to meet it. This is a break dancer move. Come through center, twist, thread, and squeeze. This move has multiple parts, so please pause the video if you need to, slow it down, and practice this. It's super fun once you can get into it. But watch closely. My shoulders always stay over my wrists. My knees always stay right under my hips. And if you can stick with that form, it makes the exercise a lot easier, or at least a lot more enjoyable. And it's the opposite arm and opposite leg lifting. So it's almost like you're coming back into that side plank position. And you're crunching through those obliques. So getting that heart rate up, working the core, working the shoulders. Come and relax down. We're staying in this all fours position. You're going to bring that right leg straight back behind you, pressing the ground away from you. And then you're going to make a half moon or a rainbow shape with that leg, lifting up and over to the right side, up and over all the way to the left. You can see here my toe is tapping both sides of the mat, right outside of the mat. From here, you're going to bring that right leg back to center and bring your left hand, your opposite hand to the hip as you lift that leg and lower it. We've done this exercise in some other videos before. So you always want to make sure that hip stays down and you're pressing strong through that supporting arm, that right arm. Make sure you're not sinking into that shoulder. And now you come onto the forearms, your last glute exercise, and you're going to bring that leg into an attitude position and then press it straight up. So an attitude that's a dance term. Your hip is turned out, your knee is turned out. And from here, I bend and try and squeeze tighter in the glute and then stretch to straighten it. You really have to work to create your own resistance here. So don't let that leg get floppy. Really bend, turn out that hip, and then press to straighten. My butt is on fire. Bring it down and then come back up onto the hands. Left leg comes back and we'll start with those half moons. These exercises are not easy and the upper body does get tired from holding this supporting position. That's totally normal. But really try and stay strong there. Whip your ponytail around if you need to. And press the ground away from you. Press strong in the arms. Shoulders down, belly button drawing up and in. Then bring that right hand to the hip, pull that left hip down and lift that leg and lower. Breathe here and really try and stretch that leg long to lift it. Come onto both forearms, turn that left hip and left knee out, and then press to straighten. Every time you bend that knee, try and get even more rotation in the hip. And then press that leg to straighten right through that glute muscle. I am rocking slightly here. This feels good in my body, so you have to do what feels best for you. Come back into your plank position, get those feet nice and wide, and then you're gonna pivot into a side plank. This is your last exercise. And again, this workout is not easy, so it's okay if you are absolutely exhausted now. Watch closely. My shoulders are stacked, my hips are stacked, and my feet, I'm coming right onto the outsides of my feet, or inside and outside, I should say. You want to come to the edges of the feet, and they are staggered. So your top leg always lands in front of you. Come down and sit into a child's pose as fast as possible. Awesome job.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you liked it. If you did, please subscribe to this channel. And again, head on over to jessiehaggerty.com. Sign up for email updates. You'll get a workout every week along with some recipes and other resources from me. I'll see you next week.